Welcome to Simone's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a naturally sweet, dairy-free, sugar-free dessert. It's a velvety red beet chocolate cake with a thick, creamy chocolate orange frosting. I think you're going to love it. You know what? I know you're going to love it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven. We're preheating the oven to 180 degrees Celsius or about 350 Fahrenheit. The first thing we're going to do is mix all the dry ingredients. I have 1 cup of spelt flour. That's wholemeal spelt flour. I have 1 cup of unbleached white flour. That's a whole wheat flour that's sifted, and but it's organic and it's not bleached, so it's quite healthy. This is 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. That's going to help our cake to rise. And we have 1/3 cup of cocoa powder. And then all we need is our 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla powder. That's a pure vanilla powder. Such a delicious smell and an even better taste. And 1/2 teaspoon of fine sea salt. So that's all our dry ingredients. I'm just going to whisk these together. Okay, once those are combined, then we can mix all the wet ingredients together. So we have 2 cups of freshly grated red beet. I know that seems like a strange thing to put in a dessert, but you'd be amazed. It gives a really beautiful color, and the sweetness of the red beets also helps to sweeten the cake. Not to worry, we're not relying solely on the sweetness of the red beets. We've also got here 1/2 cup of rice syrup and 1/3 cup of sunflower oil. Rice syrup is a fantastic sweetener. It has a really smooth sweetness. It doesn't have its own distinguishing flavor, so it just sweetens without adding a flavor. Then we have maple syrup, which has more of its own flavor, but it also is sweeter than the rice syrup. So we're using 1/2 cup of pure maple syrup. Maple syrup is fantastic also for making sugar-free desserts. Really tasty. And we're going to do 2/3 cup of organic soy milk. Whoa, look how pink that's getting. And 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Now it's the combination of the apple cider vinegar with the baking soda and the baking powder that makes the cake rise. And when you're using vegetables or fruits in a cake, or a lot of nuts, then you really need a little extra oomph to get it to rise well. So with those 3, the baking soda, the baking powder, and the apple cider vinegar, the cake will rise perfectly. Okay, so that's all ready to go. All we have to do now is combine the wet and dry together. But first, we're going to grease our cake pan. This is an 11-inch springform cake pan. And I have here an organic sunflower margarine. It's non-hydrogenated, so it's healthy. And you can just use your hand or a paper towel. I always say these are the best tools in the kitchen, though. Wherever possible, use your hands. As long as they're clean, they're good to go, right? And just give a nice layer of the margarine on the pan. And now we're just going to combine the dry into the wet. I'll go ahead and put it all in there. And once you mix the dry with the wet, you want to get it in the oven as quickly as possible. Once the dry and the wet are combined, the baking soda and the baking powder are activated by the apple cider vinegar. And so in order to get the cake to rise well, you need to get it quickly into the hot oven. Make sure your oven is preheated. And another thing when you're making vegan cakes is that you don't want your cake batter to be more than about 5 centimeters or 1 inch thick in the pan. So I think this 11-inch pan will be perfect for this amount of cake batter. See what a beautiful color that is? Okay, let's go ahead and put it in the pan. Ooh, This is going to be delicious. I can smell the cocoa powder and the sweetness of the maple syrup. It's already getting really tempting. And just wait till we put the creamy chocolate orange frosting on. A chocolate cake to die for, as they say. Okay, so the cake is ready to go in the oven. The cake will take about 25 minutes to bake, and we'll know it's ready when a wooden skewer comes out clean. So we'll come back in a minute when the cake's ready. Okay, so while the cake's in the oven, we're going to make the creamy chocolate orange frosting. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to melt this pure chocolate. It's about 200 grams of pure, about 70% chocolate, and we're going to melt it au bain-marie style, or double boiler style, in this pan of hot water. Just put the flame on very low. Once you got the water warm, put it on low and let the chocolate melt. Okay, so while that's happening, we have 300 grams of silken tofu. Silken tofu is an especially smooth, creamy tofu. And the only thing is you need to drain out that liquid. So just drain that liquid out. That's our chocolate talking to us. You probably just turn it off. There we go. And we're going to put in the cacao powder. That's a half a cup of cocoa powder. About 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla powder. Gives it a great taste. Half a teaspoon of sea salt. 2 tablespoons of oil, just to get it really, help get it creamy and glossy. This is a deodorized sunflower oil. Organic. Everything's organic. Okay, and then half a cup of maple syrup. That's the sweetener. It's going to make it absolutely delicious. And it's the tofu that is making it really rich and creamy, as well as the chocolate, of course. And to give it the great orange flavor, we're going to put the zest of 1 orange. Now again, if you're going to use citrus for zesting, you want to make sure they're organic, they haven't been sprayed. You don't want any chemicals in your frosting. And they add so much flavor. Lemon zest, orange zest are great for the flavor arsenal in your kitchen. And you can put pretty much the zest of the whole orange in your frosting. Give it a really delicious orange taste. I think the taste of the orange and the red beet is going to blend really nicely together. There we go. We're just going to give this chocolate a stir. Okay, so the chocolate is all melted now. Have a look. It's perfect. It's ready to go into the frosting. Okay, and then just go ahead and pour the chocolate into the other frosting ingredients. Oh, it smells so good. This is an organic Belgian chocolate. Perfect for this frosting. Okay, that's good. Someone's going to enjoy licking that clean, I'm sure. And then it's just a matter of blending it all together. It's as easy as that. And that's it. Let's just give it a taste. To die for. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator for a couple hours, get it really cooled down, and it thickens up as you cool it down, and then we'll be ready to frost our cake. So now the cake's ready and the frosting's ready and we're putting it together. I've already started frosting the cake and we're just going to finish it up. See the beautiful color of the cake? It's kind of this deep, rich, red, chocolatey red chocolate, red chocolatey brown. I don't know, it's just undescribably beautiful. And this frosting is now much thicker and creamier. Just needed a few minutes or a few hours to stiffen up in the fridge. You know, It seems crazy to me. People have an idea that dairy and sugar-free desserts aren't tasty, but look at this cake. I mean, I know how pleasantly surprised people are when they eat my cakes and cookies. I mean, you can make everything, pies, puddings. I even make a great vegan tiramisu, which will just knock your socks off. So, if you're interested in the recipe, go to the website, SimonesKitchen.com. Thanks for joining us today. It's looking pretty good. Let's just give it a taste. Mmm. Delicious.